is a committee appointed by the president, 4 ministers looking into this. I mean, are they talking to people like yourselves?
No, I mean, we have not been asked to speak to the ministerial committee. But really it doesn't matter to whom they speak. My plea, Harsha, is that they should now abandon this rhetoric of sovereignty, sit down.
But then that means two views, Rohan. I mean, look, I mean, they have gone down this road, right? So they have to now turn back, right? Turning back needs persuasion, logical arguments, why this is wrong, why this is right. And if everybody is on one side and saying, look, this is the way to go, and people like yourselves have been saying, look, there are alternatives, let's look at this. Shouldn't you think that discussion is necessary?
Yeah, no, we'd be very happy to talk, to help in whatever way we can. We've always said we wanted a win-win situation. But unfortunately, we are living in a sort of political environment where if you're critical or if you express a different point of view, you're viewed as a traitor. I mean, that's the sad reality. I think we need to be less emotional and stop using words like traitors and sovereignty and sit down and say, look, we've got a problem. We want to improve our human rights record. We also want this GSP Plus to be extended because it affects so many people in society, particularly from the more vulnerable sectors of our economy. And we've got to do what it takes to convince the EU that we are serious about living up to, not, and I stress this point, our own international obligation.
Time is of essence. November 6th is when the government has to, I guess, reply, right? And that's a week away. So whatever needs to be done needs to start immediately.
Exactly. So something like a roadmap, if that can be prepared, the Bill of Rights, the new Bill of Rights being just one, a couple of other things as well, some sort of...
What about the 17th Amendment? They, I mean, specifically talk about the 17th Amendment in the report.
Yeah.
And even the appointment of the Attorney General, they say, and the independence of the Attorney General. I mean, those are really serious allegations.
Exactly, and we've been talking about this, lobbying for this for a long time. There is a select committee report on the 17th Amendment, an interim report, which has been lying in a file for about 1.5 to 2 years. This is the tragedy of it. Lots of these things are there, they're in files. You don't really need to reinvent the wheel. If there is a commitment and a willingness to change the course of action.
Okay, we want action on the ground, right? I mean, what can you suggest, Rohan, right, going forward? What can you suggest that we can do immediately? I mean, I know you said, look, this needs to be done, but what is the process? What should be the process? How can we get this ball rolling? Everybody's talking, right? Everybody's saying, look, we need to get this. But nothing, okay, they've released some IDPs. I guess that is going to be looked favorably by the Commission. But these bigger issues, right, how do we do this?
Well, I would hope that the 4 ministers would really sit down and think about a quick response, a course of action. I hope that JAF and the trade unions and all the people who are much more directly involved in this would also urge the ministerial committee to adopt this more pragmatic, more human rights friendly approach and response. And I'm sure there'll be many people of goodwill from civil society who will be willing to help as well to ensure that we have the win-win situation that we've been talking about from the very beginning.
Okay, on that positive note, Rohan, thank you very much for taking your time to be with us today.